Okay, so let's say you're working, for example, on a C4 Corvette, and you've taken the exhaust down, and you've got 3 studs, and one of them snapped in half, and you've tried your impact, you've tried welding a nut on there, breaking it loose, and it's not working. So this is a very confined work area here, as you can see. I can't even get an angle grinder in there, not to mention you don't really want to do anything around some of this wiring and the starter motor and whatnot. So what I did was I got a carbide burr, put it in my die grinder, and slowly cut this down to size. So the idea is get it flush. Now I've also drilled about an 1/8 inch hole through the center. I believe it's a 10mm bolt. I've drilled all the way through the center. Now at this point, ideally I would like to try a screw extractor, and of course mine have mysteriously grown legs and disappeared. So in absence of that, I'm actually going to drill this completely out all the way through, and then I'm going to come as a replacement. I'm not going to re-tap it. I'm simply going to put a bolt through it and have a nut at either end, either slightly undersized or pretty close to the same size. You know, this is not really like a critical part. So 2 out of the 3 are going to be just fine, and then one is going to be kind of sandwiched in there with a different bolt. But that's how I ended up getting this out, is by slowly using a die grinder and a carbide burr to chip away at it. I mean, it took me forever to do, don't get me wrong, this kind of sucks. But just as an example, I mean, you don't have a lot of room to work with here, so you gotta slowly kind of chip away at it, and that's what I found worked best for me. These studs are not in there. There's only like 4 or 5 threads engaged, but when they get rusty, they really seize up. So on the other side here, when I was breaking them loose, some of the studs actually came out, which, you know, that's just fine, but that's what it'll look like if you can get it extracted. But these are going to be notoriously really stubborn, especially after, you know, 35 years of it being in there untouched. Anyway, die grinder, drill through it again, and then use a similar size bolt and nut to sandwich it together, because on the top side of this you do have some room on this side, so you can fix it that way.